The wind rattled the old plantation-style shutters as dusk bled into night, shadows crawling over the manicured lawns. Inside, the room smelled faintly of citrus polish and something colder, a tension unspoken. On the polished mahogany desk lay a sealed envelope embossed with the family crest. Behind it, three pairs of eyes flickered in the lamplight. A father, a mother, and the daughter they both believed they knew. For years, they had built their lives on unspoken foundations, silent agreements, and the illusion of unity. But tonight, as her hand trembled over that envelope, the very truth of their blood would be exposed. She swallowed, voice caught in her throat. You never told me," she whispered. Her father's face set, rigid. The mother's hand fluttered, almost reaching across the table, but stopping short. No one moved. The world outside the room seemed to hush. Then, with a slow exhale, she broke the seal. The document inside glowed under the lamp, a DNA report with names she never expected. In that quiet moment, the fragile illusion of family shattered. Before we go deeper into this chilling case, I'd love to know, where are you watching from tonight? Drop your city or country in the comments. And as the details unfold, tell us, do you believe this was an act of greed, betrayal, or something darker? Also, if you're drawn to haunting mysteries like this one, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps us keep these secrets exposed and bring you more stories that the world should never forget. The autumn of 1998 in rural Louisiana felt serene on the surface. Spanish moss draped ancient oaks. The river beyond the backfields whispered in its slow current. The Hollister family was respected. Quiet wealth, old lineage, a name whispered in parish church pews and county fairs. James Hollister, patriarch and oil magnate, had built a sizable fortune. His wife, Mary Ann, managed the social side. Charity boards, garden clubs, local influence. Their only daughter, Amelia, shy and kind, had grown under the weight of legacy. Everyone saw the family as unshakable. Beneath the facade, loyalty, secrecy, and silent resentments simmered. James's side of the family held deep roots in the Delta, and generations who poured sweat into the land and recently into oil leases and mineral rights. Mary Ann came from a modest farming family nearby. Though not of equal means, she married James when opportunity knocked, and she adapted. Early on, she accepted her place in the grand design, a partner in name, hostess by default, mother to the heir. Amelia had always known she was expected to be perfect, sophisticated, discreet, obedient. But James had a brother, Victor, charming, brilliant, but restless in his shadow. Victor had overseen projects in Texas, chased big dreams, withdrawn at times into wine and quiet bitterness. He saw his sister's children, nieces and nephews, inheritors of land and titles, while he remained dependent. The tension between James and Victor was known in hushed tones. The younger brother always blamed fate for putting him behind instead of beside. When Mary Ann gave birth to Amelia, James rejoiced. The heir was identified, the line secured. In Victor's home, the absence of sons and the ache of thwarted ambition festered. Over time, whispers began. Victor was too close with Mary Ann. He handled accounting matters, visited the house more often than a brother should, but no one accused aloud. The Hollister name was sacred. By 2013, James's health was failing. Heart murmurs turned into congestive episodes. Doctors warned that his time was limited. He began drawing up his will, parceling land, deciding on trusts and heirlooms. The family gathered in his study, scent of pipe smoke and leather-bound books. His hands had once roamed these spaces with confidence. Now they trembled. In a quiet tone, he told Mary Ann and Amelia he wanted the will to be private until after his death. They agreed. On a crisp February morning in 2014, James collapsed in his study. Mary Ann called for help, but the papers, final copies of the will, were never found. The coroner listed natural cardiac arrest. The funeral was grand, the grief deep. In his absence, Mary Ann became the executor, and Amelia inherited the lion's share of land, trusts, and the mineral rights portfolio. Victor was given a stipend and a minor consulting role. It was headlined as equitable, But every insider knew better. From then on, the lines shifted. Victor grew distant, his attentions cooled. He complained that he had quietly managed many of James's accounts, had been the confidant. But the public image endured. Amelia, the dutiful daughter, Marianne, the widow grieving with grace. Over the next years, Amelia became a rising figure. She attended law school, practiced in Baton Rouge, in line to manage the family's legal and financial affairs. She wore her role like a mantle, kind, competent, unwavering. But inside, she kept thoughts she never voiced: suspicion, jealousy, concern. Then came the first crack. In 2021, Amelia applied for a long-term loan to expand the family's holdings. The bank requested a clean family tree chart. The auditor asked for birth certificates, proof of lineage. That's when they discovered an anomaly. Marianne's birth record didn't match public documents. A side branch lineage had her listed under a different parental name. More unsettling, a small-town newspaper clipping from decades ago described a man in Mississippi claiming paternity of a daughter. The name matched Victor's godfather's side. It hinted that Marianne and Victor had grown up in proximity and that the possibility existed, small and unspoken, that Marianne's father was not who she claimed. What if her bloodline was not pure Hollister? Late one night, Amelia sat alone in the library staring at her mother's old letters. Among them, she found a faded envelope from 1985, addressed to Marianne from a man named Robert LeBlanc. "Your father," the note implied. The handwriting looked familiar, identical to a ledger Victor had once used. Fear curled in her chest. If Marianne was not a true Hollister, what did that make her? Would Amelia still own the wealth she'd earned or inherited? Would it all vanish if a rival claim resurfaced? Then came the anonymous tip. A lawyer in Jackson, Mississippi, name withheld, contacted Amelia claiming to represent the interest of a man named Robert LeBlanc. He asserted that Marianne's true paternal line demanded recognition, compensation, even claim over her estate. The letter included preliminary genealogical notes, partial DNA results, hints at half-siblings she never knew, and potential challenge to the will as it was executed. It demanded meeting at a law office in Jackson. Amelia brought the document to her mother. That night in Marianne's sitting room, over low lamps and the hum of the air conditioner, she urged honesty. Marianne paled. She denied any knowledge at first. Then, eyes brimming, she confessed. She had known very little. Her mother, destitute and pregnant, had lied about the father to protect reputation. She had adopted the Hollister Farr name as her guardian. Over decades, relationships formed under that lie. Marianne buried regret in manners, never told James. Victor had known, quietly knew, for years and had used that knowledge as leverage. Mother and brother both lied by omission. For decades, the secret slept beneath the veneer of family. The betrayal was exposed. Amelia recoiled, heartbreak and confusion choking her. Could she trust the mother she loved, the brother she respected? On the verge of acting, Amelia hesitated. A knock came at the door. Victor's footsteps firm. He entered, face stormy. He'd intercepted the correspondence. He confronted Marianne. Why claim LeBlanc lineage now, after inheriting millions? Was it a ploy? He accused Marianne of betrayal, of raw deceit. In the standoff, Amelia realized Victor had kept correspondence, had plans of leveraging this secret to claim grounds. He'd already retained attorneys. Amelia, trembling, said, This changes everything. Marianne, she looked to her. You could have told me. The confrontation cooled. Victor stormed out. Marianne wept. Amelia sat, mind ablaze. Innocence, guilt, loyalty collided. But the crisis was just beginning. The following morning, a certified letter arrived, a legal challenge. A man named Robert LeBlanc, claiming paternity of Marianne, requested recognition and division of assets. The filing demanded DNA confirmation. Rumors spread among their community, whispers of scandal. A quiet, powerful family now exposed to scrutiny. The betrayal had become public. The stage was set for upheaval. When detectives aren't involved in inheritance intrigue, lawyers become investigators. Amelia hired a firm experienced in estate litigation and genealogy in Jackson. They tracked down archives, baptismal records, obituaries, handwritten ledgers, immigration papers. Marianne's original birth certificate was sealed, her adoption records hidden in sealed files in a Mississippi county courthouse. Victor's favorite ledger, when analyzed, showed entries in Robert LeBlanc's name. Letters exchanged decades ago between Marianne's mother and a LeBlanc in Jackson were uncovered. Secret correspondence never intended to be discovered. The lawyer claimed those letters proved intent and recognition. A key turning point arrived during cross-validation of DNA. The Jackson firm reached out to a genetic testing service. Marianne agreed quietly to submit a cheek swab under confidentiality terms. The results arrived. Marianne shares significant DNA markers with the LeBlanc family tree. Too many for coincidence. She is the biological daughter. The match was strong. The secret was now confirmed. Victor's smug satisfaction flickered at first, but curdled into rage when he learned that the estate was structured under a trust that barred new claims after 10 years post-death. The trust terms stipulated that any challenge outside the window would be void. Amelia, however, faced emotional revelations. She learned she was biologically not a Hollister at all. She was genetically part Hollister by James's lineage through his children, but the myth of Marianne's pure heritage was false. That meant nothing about her legitimacy. Her birth was legal. The will named her. The DNA would not strip her inheritance. Yet Victor tried to leverage that confusion, pushing a lawsuit on grounds of fraud, claiming Marianne misrepresented her lineage. But the trust protected Amelia's position, and courts found that Marianne's silence, while morally suspect, did not invalidate the will, especially after the statute of limitation had lapsed. Victor's suit was dismissed. In retaliation, he leaked rumors to local press. Scandal portrayed the Hollister dynasty as built on lies. The family name cracked under scrutiny. Neighbors whispered. Social registers listed them in the same breath as scandal. The fallout was vicious. In the end, Marianne lost her social standing. She withdrew from public engagements. Victor was estranged, cut off from trusts and business. Amelia retained control of her inheritance and business interests, though the emotional cost was immeasurable. Trust broken, mother betrayed, brother adversarial. Marianne apologized in public, tearfully, in a televised interview, but many remained skeptical. The name Hollister now carried a stain, a secret exposed that altered perceptions forever. In reflection, the DNA test was not just proof of parentage. It was the key that unlocked a web of deception, manipulation, silence, and greed. The deepest betrayal was not wealth lost. It was the fundamental lie they lived under, that their blood was pure and their legacy secure. Families build on trust, but what happens when that trust is built on a lie? Sometimes the darkest secrets are the ones we keep from the people we love. And in this case, the truth was exposed, but the damage was already done. Was justice truly served, or will the shadows of this secret linger forever? Do you think justice was truly served, or are there still secrets left buried? Share your theories in the comments below. And if you want us to continue exposing the world's darkest family secrets and betrayals, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story we bring to light.